It's been 11 years since the 4-Hour Workweek has been published. This video will go over the main topics covered in the book and if it is still relevant today. Let's begin. In essence, the 4-Hour Workweek is a self-improvement book on productivity, business, and liberation. Tim Ferriss goes against the norm of going to school, getting a 9-to-5, and then retiring, and introduces a new concept called the New Rich. The New Rich have the ability to work whenever and wherever they want. Although they might not make as much as a typical 9-to-5, they certainly work the least hours. The steps in this book to becoming a part of the New Rich go by the acronym DEAL. If you are an employee instead of an entrepreneur, you want to implement it as DELA instead of DEAL. D is for definition, E is for elimination, A is for automation, and L is for liberation. This book is not about quitting your job or starting a business. You don't have to do those things. This book is meant to help you have more time to do the things you want to do. Definition. Before you can start, you need to define your fears. What's the worst that's going to happen? Rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being life-threatening. Chances are, your worst is probably a 4 or a 5. What can you do to bring things under your control? What are you putting off out of fear? Usually, what we fear doing is what we most need to do. Tim states, a person's success in life can usually be measured by the number of uncomfortable conversations he or she is willing to have. What is it costing you, financially, emotionally, and physically, by not chasing your dreams? Inaction and regret are terrible feelings to have. Finally, what are you waiting for? There is no perfect time to start. Doing the unrealistic is easier than doing the realistic. This is because most people believe they are incapable, so they won't even try. Thus, the level of competition is the most fierce for realistic goals. Take action. Elimination. This part of the book talks about productivity. There's a difference between being busy and being productive. Checking your email may seem productive, but don't fool yourself thinking that it is. In reality, you are just avoiding important tasks. Tim Ferriss talks about Parkinson's law and the 80-20 principle, and how you can combine both to be as effective as possible. Parkinson's law states that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. This is why a 9-to-5 is arbitrary. You are paid based on time, not results, so it is possible to do a day's worth of work in less than 8 hours. The 80-20 principle states that 20% of the inputs lead to 80% of the outcome. Find the core, focus on it, and cut the rest. For entrepreneurs, 20% of your customers will make up 80% of your profit. Focus on them and stop spending so much time on people that won't necessarily give you profit. For the best results, combine the two concepts. Automation. This part of the book contains the business aspect. Tim Ferriss talks about the idea of passive income. You can do this by creating a product, licensing a product, or reselling a product. I won't go into too much detail, but I do have a video on the best online business you can start today. Check it out by clicking the I. This part also talks about creating a system to help you save time by outsourcing. You do this by hiring a virtual assistant who will do things like check email, schedule things, research, and all that stuff. They can even work while you are asleep, because you usually want to hire one from a third world country where the power of $1 is strong. They work for cheap wages, such as $3 an hour, because that is worth a lot back where they live. It might take some time to find the perfect VA, and Tim suggests hiring one from an organization because they have backups. But the return on investment on a virtual assistant is huge. liberation. This is how you become free and join the new rich. Tim introduces the idea of mini retirements here. You travel somewhere for 1 to 6 months and settle down there. Instead of saving the retirement years for the end of your life, spread them out. Mini retirements are not even that expensive. The most expensive aspects are transportation and housing. It gets even more interesting because mini retirements can be cheaper than paying rent and living in expensive US cities. You can improve your finances by taking mini retirements in cities where the power of a dollar is strong. You leverage the economic differences between markets to generate a high return. But what if you're an employee? You liberate yourself by getting a remote work arrangement. To do this, you first increase the company's investment in you by asking for additional training. This way, it will cost them more money if they lose you. You then call in sick and use the lessons on productivity to increase your output. Then you come back and explain how you achieved more outside the office with good explanations, such as the removal of commute. After that, you propose a trial period where you work outside the office. Make sure the trial period is the most productive you have ever been. Discuss the results and negotiate a remote work arrangement. Congrats, you are now free. The book is still relevant today, even if the life Ferriss sells is not as easy as the book makes it seem. The core concepts of setting up systems and lifestyle design is evergreen content that will stand the test of time for entrepreneurs and employees alike. The strategy is sound, but the tactics to reach a 4-hour workweek have changed. It's been 11 years, and some of the tactics mentioned in the book to grow a successful business are different. With increased competition, you need to put in a lot more work and be different to stand out. One thing that is different is the popularity of freelancing nowadays. Freelancing in a high-paying space, such as copywriting, enables you to live a 4-hour workweek. But to get to that position, you will have to work hard and build up your skill and reputation. If you don't like the idea of starting a business, freelancing can be your ticket to living a 4-hour workweek. But remember, to live a 4-hour workweek, you will need to work harder than most people to get to that point. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss future videos. If you can't wait, check out some of my older videos.